Adam Bierman back again. I'm going to be really serious because we have an exciting guest. We have Glenn Paul from Clancy Paul. You're in my inner psyche, even though I never knew you, because you guys always advertise that new thing computers. You're a legend in the central New Jersey area. We have Walter Krieg, who's going to be CFO of this new company we're about to talk to, or your CTO.
COO, I think Brad's going to take over the technology side of things.
Yeah. And we have Brad Murray, CTO. And let me start with Glenn Paul, back to him again. Again, I knew you, but I didn't know you. I think my dad knew Mr. Clancy. And you guys, early on, what did you do? You were the first company in Princeton actually to have computers, repair computers.
Well, we actually weren't. We were about the fourth computer store or the fifth to open in this area. There was
you
Computerland.
Advertised quite well then, because I only knew you.
Prodigy. Well, you know, we were concerned whether or not we were going to make it at the beginning, which is always the way it is. And after 9 months, the accountants pulled me in and they said, you know, you're technically bankrupt. And I said, I think it's working. I think it's going to work. And we finished the first year with $1 million in sales, and we made a little money on that. And the rest is history. We eventually became the largest distributor in all of New Jersey.
And now we cut to the 2000s. You meet Walter Krieg. I don't know when, Brad, you can cut it anytime.
Same time.
And Dot Photo, which is pretty successful in the area. How is Dot Photo doing? That's kind of like Flickr or Dropbox. And
Well, Dot Photo came out of a little project that I had put together about a year earlier, which may have been the first photo development site on the web. And it was called Photos by Web. Photosbyweb.com, I think it was.
Photos by Net.
Photos by Net, yeah, .com. And we got so many orders that we couldn't fill them. And so we had to close the site down and raise a little bit of money and put up a lab. And I met Walter, who was running Info First. And Walter knew Brad. And Brad is a mad genius. And Brad has kept this thing going with all kinds of innovation over the years. And we've looked at, again, at a lot of difficult situations. I mean, about 10 years ago, our board was telling us that we were going to be out of business because the cost of storage was going to drive us out of business. The cost of storage. And I'm looking at this thing and I'm thinking, you know, people really like to share photos. That's what they want to do. We had carrier groups in the Pacific that were sharing photos with their families at home. And they weren't printing photos. And all the board wanted to do was print more.
Right. They didn't see the paradigm shift would happen.
The prints are going down, and the storage is going up. This is going to kill you. I said, yeah, but what about Moore's Law? You know, the cost of this is eventually going to go down. And first of all, Brad figured out how to set up our own storage, and that saved us enough money to stay in the game. And then he eventually moved us to Amazon, which is, you know, 99.999%, and that's apparently what's driving the profits of Amazon and making it, you know, this terrific.
Amazon's making a profit now, finally.
And it's in their storage that people think that they're really going to rule the world, and we use them because they're excellent and their prices keep improving.
And they keep your prices low because you have the Costco model. You said.
Right, we have this Costco model at Dot Photo now, and we looked around. We said, okay, well, how are you going to do this? And what's going to happen to Shutterfly? You know, they got to sell. You can go there second. Yeah, buy. Well, we don't want to have that experience. So we have this Costco model for $19.99 a year. You get free shipping on any order over $10. You get wholesale prices, 8-cent 4x6s, 57-cent 5x7s, and 99-cent 8x10s, and all kinds of other stuff at, you know, wholesale prices. And all the storage you want. 20 megabyte per image uploads, you know, the best kind of service that we can put together. And it's that $20, that little relatively small fee, that keeps us going, and people who are enthusiastic about photography get a terrific experience.
And I've seen this, it's hassle-free, which I like. Hassle-free, so you know,
yeah, right.
There's no hoops.
Because we don't have to go sell, right. You know, we're already set.
Now you have the new, exciting Fotella. And that's what you can share photos. You described it before, maybe you can, and how you all came together with this idea. Anyone can chime in at any time. You want to lead off?
Okay, well, a couple of years ago, we were looking at the situation. We said, you know, nobody's that excited about Dot Photo. I mean, I still love Dot Photo. I talk to customers every day. But the business has changed. You have Snapchat that's going public at a $25 billion valuation, right? And we said, what can we do to reinvent photography again? We did it once. What do we think that people want to do? And after a lot of conversations, we thought, you know, people are when we first started, it was all about privacy. Remember that, Brad? everybody, I have to keep my pictures secret.
That seems ludicrous to me.
It does now. It does
you
now.
put it
but-
on Facebook and you complain about privacy.
well, worse than that. I mean, some people say that 30% of all photos are selfies. And that's just people, here I am. I want to be noticed. I want to be seen.
Document my narcissism. But anyway, yeah.
Well, but, you know, that goes to all of us, whoever we are. We want to be known. We want to be appreciated. I guess that's why we're filming this tonight, right?
Right.
So we said, well, what if people at a party could just take their pictures and instantly see each other's pictures? And the big problem in photos is, you know, like 99.9% of them are never annotated. I mean, nobody ever says, oh, here I am at the picnic, here I am doing this. They're just taking the pictures.
The descriptive tag.
People are taking over 1 trillion pictures a year now, so there's nothing to tag them. But if you were to take a picture with your phone right now, on Fotella, among others, but if you take a picture on Fotella, you'll get the time that it was taken and the place that it was taken, the GPS coordinates. And we thought, well, what if we have an algorithm, and Brad put together this wonderful algorithm that kind of meshes time and place and allowed that to be searched and have photos self-organizing. So you're having a wedding and you say, hey, I would appreciate if everybody would take their pictures here.
Can you spell the website out? What's going to be underneath it?
It's Fotella, Fotella.
.com.
.com, right. So you go to Fotella.com. One of the interesting things about it is that it doesn't even require an app.
That's what I like. Again, another hoop's gone.
Yeah, nothing to download and install. Right. You go to Fotella.com, you take a picture. That picture is, if we all take pictures, we'll all see them instantly.
Right. There's
none of this, oh, upload all your pictures and then send me a link and I'll get them all together. And then 2 months later, when you've forgotten you were even there, you know, here comes this email that says, oh, remember we went to this?
Yeah, sometimes I don't remember the person's name or anything else.
Exactly.
Also, it's not the picture you wanted either.
Yeah.
So you're saying you could instantly get all your pictures that day, forward your people. So they're going to actually do your photo album for you, and then you can edit through it as you wish, basically.
Well, that's the next step, is making a collection. Right? So if you're the bride and all of your friends took these pictures, somebody spilled wine, some child fell off a seat, you tripped over your trail, you don't want all of those pictures, right? And you don't want all the duplicates, because a lot of pictures are duplicates. So you take the best ones and you create your collection and you tell your story and you add music and you share it on Facebook or social media. And we think that's a great way to.
And no one thought about this as far as you know, this idea. You got a patent and everything.
Well, we were thinking about this a couple of years ago. So we filed a patent 2 years ago, and we noticed that Snapchat was kind of in nearby spaces. It takes a while for patents to go through, and we hope that our Princeton lawyers are good ones. Mm-hmm. I think they are. We'll see what happens.
What do you do with this? What's your job?
But what I've been doing recently is working between the two guys, and for instance, I had an AdWords ad up and run the numbers through to see what are people interested in finding that we're involved in. So I had the ad set up for .photo, and we chose a bunch of keywords to see when did we want to show that ad, and we did that for about 30 days, and we had the results of where people clicked, and we had it run through Google Analytics. And so now we know where they go when they click on our ad. We have now an idea of how they can follow along. And we haven't done anything like that for Fotella yet because we're still finishing the interface. Brad's finishing the new interface. I mean, it works perfectly the way it is now. But we've had some focus groups that have said they'd like to see this or that in the interface. And some of those things will be put in for the next release of the front end. And that's still without having an app, although we have an app sitting in the background that we could release, but there's no need to right now. We want to see how the site does on its own. Mm-hmm. So when you go to the site on your phone and you click the little camera icon, it'll open up the native camera from your device. You take a picture, you'll get a little OK at the top, and you say, OK. And now it knows your GPS location and it knows the time. And all of a sudden, on the page comes that photo you just took and all the photos that are near it in time and space. Mm-hmm. And so that is what we're aiming to now find a way. How will we track the things that are going on the site, and that's all part of what I'm in the middle of trying to figure out.
And you can sell advertising too, like if you let's say the wedding's on the Princeton campus, you can take photos of the surrounding the campus and everything, and that's where advertising.
Well, we have. I'm sorry.
I'm going to just say one of our plans is that we would market directly to, let's say, the manager of a band. So they're going to have a concert on the Princeton campus.
Richardson Auditorium.
Richardson Auditorium. And now they can rent that space for a period of time. And then what will happen is people would come in, they would post and tell them what to do, and they could take photos. All those photos would then be gathered together, and the person who rented the space would have control over all the photos.
Oh, ownership.
This is, I think, what Glenn was alluding to when he said, the bride may not want to see she fell down on her trail, So now that person can remove them and also create collections. Now each collection will have its own address, and he could send that collection out. But the other thing is, in the back end, we have something that we were working on WordPress called Print Me. And if you now go to Fotella, and you see a photo you like, you tap on that photo, it gets to be full screen. Now you look at the menu, in it says Print Me. And when you do a Print Me, it sends that photo through the back end to .photo. And you can print it on the same things that you can print
Synergy,
on.
cross-marketing.
Exactly, that's the idea here. So now if you had a t-shirt that the band said, look, let's take our t-shirt and put our band name on it. And when people come and they say, hey, I want to print that. It's my picture. I did a selfie.
Or my show.
Or your show. Right, exactly. They can go and print it. They can make a book. They can make prints. They can make a t-shirt. They can make anything. And we could agree with the holder of that space, if it's a band manager, etc., what would you like to sell? Right. And then when they go through the back end, they make a profit. They make the majority of the profit on whatever sold, and we pick up the back end a few percent through .photo.
In a way, it's a win-win for everyone.
And they don't have to worry about, okay, I got to give it to the photographer. Here's my little stick and all these things.
Right.
It's all right there. They can gather it into their collection and do what they want with it, and have people who come in, if they're in that space-time, click to buy something, they get the profit.
And Brad, so you look like you're from California, really mellow and everything. But you're how do you fit in? Do they drive you crazy? Are you huddled in some like attic or in Titusville, New Jersey, making all this happen? What's the chemistry between you? Who gives who direction? I don't know much about tech stuff though.
We collaborate on. I throw something together and we look at it and go over it and redesign it and see what works and what doesn't.
And all three of you kind of have an understanding of what tech is and everything.
Yeah. Well, the name of the company is Scorpio Photo. Does that give you a hint?
Scorpio will sting you though.
Oh.
Yes, that's the thing. No, we're all Scorpios. We all have to be born under the same sign, which that's very important technology.
Okay.
If I could say one thing about that, how do we work together? How does anybody work together? I think when I was younger, and you see this a lot when people are young, we still believe in this genius idea, right? Somebody's the genius, and they're going to show everybody.
Yeah, the light bulb comes up.
Yeah, I no longer believe in that. I think somebody has to start it, right? And then what you see happening is iterations. So we butt heads a lot. I mean, somebody says, well, we really need to do this. And then we start to work on it, and Brad says, well, that looks terrible. And then we'll try to fix that, and Walter will say, I don't like that, and we'll try to fix that, and I'll say, oh, we can't do that. We just keep working on it until we have the first iteration. Then we put it out there, and now the rubber meets the road, because do the people like it?
Right, no matter what you thought and everything.
You show it. I mean, we show stuff to Walter's daughter.
Down at Georgetown, she got her friends together, and we showed them the whole Fotella thing, and they went, oh, it should do this, and how come it doesn't have this? And I can't find that. Right. And we go, okay, and we start redoing the interface, which Brad's been working on now for a couple of months, and she's waiting for me to send her back, because she went through it with us and brought our proposed design to her focus group, and they said, that's good. So now she's waiting for us to release.
That's a segue to my next question, if you can answer. What would millennials, because that's just a new species, and I study them too, what would they like most about Fotella? What would maybe make them do the word of mouth thing?
Instant and easy.
Instant and easy. As a hassle-free is a big thing again and again and again. And I'm dating a lot of millennials, but me too, but they don't have any patience. If you don't give them what they want on that website, they're gone in 3 seconds.
Yeah, as it should be. Yeah.
And they are not necessarily somebody that'll take to a lot of advertising. So they were real happy that the site didn't have anything pushing at them, that it was up to them to put something up there. And they could go look at other places and say, where is your family from? Oh, they're from Minnesota. They'd get on the Fotella site, go where it says, search, put in the town in Minnesota, and it would show the recent pictures, or they could put a date time in and say, here's the pictures that were taken near that area at this date and time.
Well, we'll work on all platforms then?
It's in the browser.
In the browser.
There's one other aspect of the site I want to explore. You seem to be getting at how you're going to monetize this, which is always the question. And one of the interesting things you can do with Fotella is you go to a new place, right? Now you're in a new GPS location, and you hit show me the photos, and you see what's going on here.
Yes.
Well, I happen to know that Rich Ryan over at Route 1, US 1 newspaper,
I know who he is.
and you know about his info, his Princeton info page, right? And it gets a lot of hits because people want to know what's going on. Well, this is kind of like that. What's there to see in this area, right? Now talk about
the
advertising.
Local niche. Yeah, you could be in Morocco, Casablanca, whatever.
One of the terrible things about the web is some good thing gets going and then it starts just filling up, getting choked with advertising. You don't want to use it anymore. But this is a place where advertising might make sense because if people are exploring the world that way, I'm in a new place, well, let me see what's happening here. Well, you might want to know about the businesses that you ought to visit.
No, the bike shop.
Yeah. So let me have a couple of pictures of those in here.
Right, instantly. And what I like, it's free. Instead of going to Facebook, which you can't always get, or something else like that, or go to TripAdvisor.com, and which is you have to scroll, whatever the word is, to find information. Yeah, this is more pictures. Kind of like Instagram in a way then too. Is Instagram a dirty word to say? Instagram.
I've never heard of them.
But you can imagine somebody who has a business could actually take a photo each day of the front of their store, send it up to Fotella, and anybody coming to that area looking what's there would see that picture automatically. Nothing else to worry about.
It could be a coupon.
Could be anything.
And if it's advertising that's too obnoxious, people would downvote it and eventually it would just kind of go away. Or you could throw it out and not see it at least.
It would happen naturally.
Yeah.
I know it's get away from me. I have to yell at people. Go on. We have 3 minutes.
But one of the interesting things about if you have a space that's yours is you can remove the pictures as well. And if you've sent something up to Fotella, it has a device ID or there's an association with it, so that if you took it and sent it up there and you don't like it, you can take it down.
Right.
So you're not stuck. It's not as if, okay, I put it up there and now that's all I can do. Oh my goodness, the rest of the world's going to see that. It's not going to work that way.
It's not going to be sticky either.
Yeah.
So you want to show an example? Oh my God, look at this already.
Yeah, these are pictures that were taken in this area. There's your control room, right? I didn't take these pictures.
Already, there's a picture of Raya.
Well, you do
on control room, Princeton University campus.
Yeah, so anybody can see that.
And also,
sort of our
people want pictures. I don't want to read a lot.
Yeah, they can go there now and see the same thing we're looking at.
Right. Fotella. Okay, in the final 1 minute, what's the future for Fotella? Where can you be reached? If you have a bromance with you guys, if someone's fallen in love with you guys and they want to be involved, well, how are they going to get involved? How do they reach you and everything else?
Well, they can go to Fotella.com, Fotella.com. And if we don't have our contact information there, it is there. It's there. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So again, Fotella is our special project. It's available for anybody to use. It's free. We hope you'll try it out. And Dot Photo is also there. You can try it, and you can buy stuff there too.
And Fotella might shock the world. It started here at Princeton TV, and if you go public, I want to be involved. Will you come back? Walter, remind me. Come back. I'm trying to always follow up on businesses and where they go to, and if we haven't embarrassed you enough, and I like to come back and see where you are in 6 months.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Well, Brad, Walter, and again, I finally met you, Glenn Paul, no Clancy. I'm sorry about that. From Clancy Paul, from anyone who's lived in town long enough, famous Clancy Paul computer shop. Thanks for coming, and come back in 6 months.
Thank you, Adam.
Fotella.com is the future.
That's great.